What's up, Fort Knox? Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell in the title of this video, we're continuing the discussion um, that was left over from my video from last time, which was only a few days ago. But in just 2 days, it's received so much attention and so many comments, and people have so many questions. And I did say to you guys, if you have any questions, to drop down in the comments. And let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, ask me anything. I'm happy to continue this discussion, and I kind of figured it was going to continue, and I feel like it's going to continue even further after this video. We're going to have more discussions about it because I don't think it's all going to fit into one video. And yeah, so let's just talk about it. First, before we do, let me first apologize for the glare that is on my glasses. My eye is extremely irritated. I'm having an issue with one of my eyes, so I am wearing my glasses, and the light is reflecting off of it. And I'm just getting to the point where I'm actually able to sit in front of lights because it was very light sensitive, but that's another story. It's no big deal. But I still wanted to come and do this video. I didn't want to wait till my eye healed. Also, if you have not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe, rate the video also, thumbs up or thumbs down, whichever one you're feeling. And if you have any questions or comments on this video, make sure you leave a comment below. Tell a friend, whatever, All right, let's get into it. So, after doing the video about Nikita Dragon and her exposing people like Tyga and a few other people in her video, and also saying that she was alluding to the fact, or either saying that she was better than cisgender women, or that she was, all these different things. And I gave my opinion on all of that. A lot of you were in the comments, and the number one thing that you guys were talking about, this whole thing of cisgender. And I think that, and it's a great question and a conversation that needs to be had, especially amongst people that may not have been familiar with the term, or there are a lot of people I found out that think that trans people just made it up, which we did not make it up. It had nothing to do with us. It's just a term that was coined back in the 90s, and it was a scientific term. As science evolved and they learned more about science and gender studies and all these things and scientific behaviors and all the things that are going on, cisgender is something that was used. Now, the 90s were 30 years ago, but for some reason people are just finding out about the word cisgender. And someone in the comments made a very a point that I could see why she would feel this way. She says, it seems like you guys named us this, and it seems like we're being renamed because transgender women now exist. And she also made the comment that it feels like because of the rising of the information about trans people, it's starting to feel like it's starting to diminish other, well, she said of trans women, it's diminishing other cisgender women. Now, let's just dissect it one by one. Cisgender means that you are in the body that you were assigned at. Now, at birth, like your brain and your body align with each other. Obviously, we know transgender means that the two did not align, which is why we transitioned. However, cisgender does not just pertain to women. And I think a lot of people think that just like, oh, you're a cis woman, maybe because it sounds like cis, like, hey, cis, S-I-S. But cis, meaning C-I-S, pertains to anyone who is not transgender, meaning you can be a cisgender man, a cisgender woman, you can be a cisgender heterosexual man or heterosexual woman, or you can be a cisgender gay man or gay woman. So there are gay men that are cisgender, right? So it's not just about women. We didn't rename women because all of a sudden trans women. I think trans women, especially Black trans women, are in the forefront a lot more. And it feels like there is this underlying like competition. There's competition amongst women all the time. Anyway, we'll get into that in just a little bit, but, and maybe even in a future video, because I have a very direct idea that I want to talk about there. but for the sake of not jumping all over the place, there. So that's the first thing. Cisgender means that you were assigned, and actually you guys can Google, you can look on Wikipedia, you can look through scientific terms. There's so many articles on it, and it's being really Googled a lot right now, so there's so much information on it, and it is basically not a new term. It's just you guys are hearing about it more to differentiate the between a transgender person and someone who is not transgender. The other thing is, I think a lot of people are used to transgender people being hidden or being a taboo thing. Back in the 90s, it was. We were hidden, we were not talked about. It was kind of a whispering thing. It wasn't, it was something you talked about secretly and kind of whispered about, but it was never something that was in the forefront. There was no representation on TV. There was no, there were not people who are trans that were of influence at the time. So because of that, we never had to use the term cisgender. A lot of y'all didn't even use the term transgender, and which is the scientific term and also the respectful term. Some of y'all use some other things. We're not going to talk about what those words were, but those were, when you know better, you do better. You know that those are now, words that we do not use and that are derogatory words, and misgendering is not cool, any of that. However, there was someone in the comments that said, I don't even call you cisgender because I feel like it's a disrespect. Well, no, it's not disrespectful. We are not ashamed of being trans. Excuse me, I'm not gonna call you transgender. Did I say that right? Yeah, I'm gonna call you transgender because I don't want to disrespect you. And she said it was because it disrespects what you're working towards. The thing is we are not ashamed of being transgender. We are proud of being transgender. We are no longer hiding anymore. And that was something that happened back in the day where people were hiding. And so we were living what was called stealth. Not saying there aren't people that are still living stealth, but we are not living stealth anymore. I'm not, for one, and there are a lot of people, we're out in the forefront. And living stealth meaning like you were just living amongst and people just thought you were a cisgender person. You never told anybody that you were transgender, all of those things. And so it might have been whispered about, it might have been, whatever, but we never came out as being transgender. Not saying that people have to come out as being transgender now. It's just because of that, we were not referred to as transgender. It was the derogatory terms. So calling us transgender is not disrespectful. We are women, but we are trans women. We are not, I said it before, we are not your enemies. We are not your competition. We are just your sisters. And we did not make up calling you cisgender. It is literally a scientific term. And I know a lot of you are like, well, I don't want to be renamed. I'm a real woman or I'm a biological woman. Well, that's exactly why cisgender is a scientific term. Because saying that someone is not a real woman, someone who's transgender is not a biological woman or is not a transgender woman, is actually not a correct term. Because in her brain, yes, she was transgender. She was a woman. She was a real woman. Like for me, you cannot tell me that I was not that I was a girl born assigned in a wrong body at birth, simply because I knew at as young as 5 years old that I was going to be a woman. I've talked about this in other things before, in other videos and interviews all over. But inside, I was definitely a real woman. Biologically, gender-wise, I was a biological woman. So that's where cisgender comes into play, meaning this is a woman. She was assigned woman at birth, and her body aligned with how she felt on the inside, that she was, like the two matched. Your gender identity and your sex are two different things. Your gender is between your ears. Sex is between your legs. So yeah, that is why we don't say a real, and there are a lot of women that will try to make us feel a certain way. It's like, I'm a real woman. I'm like, you can't have babies, you can't give birth, you'll never push your baby out, you don't have periods, all these different things that people want to say to attack us in different ways. Honestly, I would love it if we could all just get along and all just be equal and all this different, all that, but it's the same thing that people say when we talk about racial issues, where it's just like, to ignore it would be very irresponsible of us. And so I do feel like there is a conversation that needs to be had, especially between cisgender and transgender women, specifically cisgender and transgender women of color. And I know it's not a popular opinion, but a lot of trans women will tell you that a lot of the issues that we have with black cisgender women, we do not have those issues with white cisgender heterosexual women. And I would love it if we could all come together and just be sisters. But I think it's going to take a little more understanding. I'm going to talk about this in another video, but I will tell you that I was one of those people that grew up around all women, all black women, my family. I have all sisters, all younger than me. My mom, my grandmother raised me, all these women that were around me. And I saw so many different types of behaviors and so many female women traits and different interactions with each other. I also used to be a makeup artist before I transitioned, and I saw the competition between women, especially black women. And I said, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to transition and I'm going to live my truth and become the woman I always knew that I was, I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to be in competition. I'm going to be the kind of girl that bigs up another sister. I'm going to be the kind of girl that is not in competition and that is celebrating those women. And I want cisgender women to hear this. We love you. We need you. We are not going to, it's not like the rise of trans women or the trans women getting respect is going to be disrespectful to you, or that you guys are going to be obsolete. We still need you. We can't have babies without you, for God's sake. But also just in society, the women, cisgender women, especially cisgender black women, we are needed. You are needed, excuse me. You are needed. So we're not in competition. I just wanted to really say that I am pro black, pro everyone, pro trans, cisgender, everything, everybody getting along. I just want there to be some kind of understanding and a lot of education. And if I can be that catalyst for it, I am going to do everything that I can. This was just a quick discussion, but I would love to hear more from you guys because you guys were very vocal in my last video, and I suspect you'll be vocal in this one also. But I love you so much for watching, and please, please, please comment. I'd love to hear back from you guys. And I don't know, maybe we can get together a panel of women that would love to, you know, talk about this very subject. And why did y'all tell me my hair was frizzy the whole time on the side? But maybe, you know, talk about this very thing, you know, a panel. I've seen a panel before of cisgender women and transgender women together, talking and coming together. But I think there needs to be a discussion because, you know, neither one of us are going anywhere. And I would like it if we could all just come together and just love each other, really come to a mutual understanding and respect. So that's my time here, and I love you guys for watching again. Make sure you click subscribe. Make sure you watch another video. I'm going to put them right here. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Enjoy your day.